Once feared as fierce, cold-blooded killers of the prehistoric era, crocodiles today are not only a source of highly sought-after luxury meat, but also a symbol of high fashion, generating billions of dollars for the global industry. But have you ever wondered how millions of crocodiles are raised, harvested, and processed every year? It all begins at thousands of large-scale modern crocodile farms, where these reptile creatures are carefully bred, fed, and cared for under the watchful eyes and wisdom of experienced farmers. Then, through tightly controlled systems, the crocodiles are transported to specialized processing plants, where skilled workers and cutting-edge machines work together to harvest not only premium leather, but also high-value meat and bones. Today, Agriculture Insight will take you inside the world of crocodile farming to uncover how they have become one of the most profitable animals in modern agriculture. Right now, let's explore these dangerous animals together. Modern crocodile farming today is truly a revolution, far beyond the crude methods that existed for centuries. This dramatic transformation has paved the way for crocodiles to be raised and processed industrially in over 30 countries, with major hubs like Thailand, Australia, South Africa, the United States, and China, home to high-tech farms and specialized processing facilities. These farms can span up to 100,000 square meters, housing tens of thousands of crocodiles at various life stages, and they continue to expand. But what's the real reason crocodile meat and skin are in such high demand? With a lifespan of up to 50 years and a rare, time-enhanced sheen, crocodile leather has become the crown jewel of luxury fashion, featured in pieces like the $500,000 Hermes Himalaya Birkin and Louis Vuitton crocodile locket. Even though farm-raised crocodiles have been born and bred in captivity for generations, their primal hunting instincts remain fully intact, which means raising them in massive numbers has never been an easy or entirely safe task. Despite being known as one of the most dangerous reptiles on the planet, a crocodile's life begins from something surprisingly humble. A small egg, not much different from that of a chicken. And it all starts with egg laying, a crucial and standardized step in every modern crocodile farming model. During the breeding season, which typically falls between April and August, depending on the region, mother crocodiles are moved to semi-wild or artificial ponds designed to mimic natural habitats and encourage nesting. Farmers prepare thick, soft, and dry layers of sand around the pond's edge to encourage females to dig nests and lay their eggs. At this stage, the mother crocodile will select a spot she deems safest and dig a nest, usually about 30 to 50 centimeters deep, in preparation for laying. Depending on the species, age, and level of care, each female can lay anywhere from 20 to 80 eggs per clutch. Because the mother crocodile becomes especially sensitive and defensive during this stage, farmers must collect the eggs swiftly and accurately, ensuring safety before she detects any intrusion and turns aggressive to protect her nest. Therefore, farmers typically try to separate the mother crocodile from the nesting area before beginning the egg collection process. Egg collection requires precision, speed, and more than a little courage, because just a few seconds too late, and the mother crocodile might return to the nest and react aggressively. Each egg must be gathered within 24 hours of being laid to prevent it from being eaten, and every single one is carefully marked to indicate its exact orientation. This is crucial, as rotating the egg during transport to the artificial incubation area could damage the embryo and ruin the hatch. After being successfully collected from the mother crocodile, the eggs are gently wiped with a dry cloth to remove sand and debris. They are then placed in trays lined with sawdust or on specialized racks, helping to retain moisture and keep the eggs stable, with precise spacing to prevent contact and ensure proper airflow during incubation. They are then placed into an automated incubation system within a climate-controlled environment where humidity is maintained at 90–95% and the temperature is kept between 30 degrees Celsius 33 degrees Celsius, creating ideal conditions to maximize hatch rates and ensure healthy embryo development. One fascinating fact is that the gender of baby crocodiles is not determined by chromosomes as it is in many other animals, but entirely by the temperature during incubation. If the temperature exceeds 32 degrees Celsius, most of the hatchlings will be male. In contrast, temperatures below 30 degrees Celsius tend to produce mostly females. After approximately 75 to 90 days of incubation, the baby crocodiles begin to emit distinctive chirping sounds, signaling that the hatching process is officially underway. After hatching, baby crocodiles are transferred to separate nursery areas, typically cement ponds equipped with water circulation systems, temperature control, and overhead covers to maintain stable living conditions. In their early stages of life, the young crocs are fed small fish, chicken meat, or high-protein commercial feed to support bone and muscle development and strengthen their immune systems. They're usually fed once or twice a day at fixed times to help establish a consistent biological rhythm and minimize aggressive competition during feeding. Unlike your cow, which takes 18 to 24 months to reach harvest age for meat or milk, crocodiles grow at a rate of 2 to 3 years to reach commercial size. During the fattening stage, crocodiles are fed only 2 to 3 times per week compared to their earlier growth phase. However, the nutritional quality of each meal is significantly enhanced, with a high-protein diet specifically designed to optimize both meat texture and skin quality, the two most valuable outputs in crocodile farming. Even though they don't eat daily like other livestock, crocodiles can still suffer from obesity and digestive issues if their feed intake is not strictly limited to under 10% of their body weight. Thanks to this careful feeding management, the fattening process not only helps crocodiles reach their ideal weight, but also ensures they meet the strict standards of the premium meat and leather markets. After a long period of patience and meticulous care, the time finally comes for farmers to reap the fruits of their labor, when the fully grown crocodiles reach the ideal size for harvesting. At this stage, the crocodile is temporarily rendered unconscious for a few minutes using methods such as blunt force trauma to the skull, the pithing method, or remote stunning with electric prods or captive bolt guns. The goal is to make the animal lose consciousness before restraint and transport, reducing aggressive reactions, minimizing struggle, and preserving the quality of both meat and skin. However, as animal welfare becomes an increasingly important and regulated issue in the farming industry, electric stunning has become the more widely adopted method at many modern crocodile farms. Once the crocodile is fully immobilized, workers quickly tie its snout, secure its limbs, and then transfer it onto a specialized transport vehicle. Depending on their intended use, hundreds of crocodiles will be classified before entering the slaughter process, ready to transform themselves into a rich source of protein sought after across the globe, and premium-grade hides featured in legendary handbags bearing the names Hermes or Louis Vuitton. Immediately upon arrival at the processing facility, workers use a specialized sharp knife to sever the carotid artery, or the artery at the back of the neck, allowing the crocodile to quickly stop breathing and bleed out while still under the effects of electric stunning or sedatives. Immediately after bleeding and washing are completed, The crocodile carcass is transferred to the skinning area, a highly critical stage handled by skilled workers, as it involves the most economically valuable part of the animal. Unlike mink skinning, which is done from the hind legs to peel the entire hide along the back, crocodile farms typically use the belly cut method. This technique preserves the soft, wide, and evenly toned belly scales, the most desirable section for high-end fashion products. Using fine, ultra-sharp surgical knives, workers carefully cut along the belly and gently separate the skin from the muscle tissue, taking great care not to leave scratches or tears. A flawless crocodile hide can measure between 40 to 60 inches in length and fetch anywhere from $300 to over $10,000 a piece, depending on its size and quality. Before entering the leather processing phase, the remaining crocodile carcass is moved to the meat butchering section. At this stage, the animal is securely positioned on a stainless steel cutting table, and skilled workers carefully separate the major muscle groups, including the tail, back, flanks, and neck, one section at a time. The tail, in particular, is highly prized, making up nearly 50% of the total marketable meat. It's considered the finest cut, known for its white, lean, protein-rich texture, and is often featured in local delicacies or served at upscale restaurants. One of the most crucial steps that determines up to 80% of a crocodile hide's commercial value is the initial preservation phase, designed to maintain its quality and prepare it for advanced tanning processes. After being thoroughly cleaned with high-pressure cold water and meticulously scraped to remove any remaining debris, fat, or connective tissue, the hide undergoes either dry salting or deep freezing at 18 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees, especially when the tannery is not located near the farm. This preservation method effectively halts biological decomposition, protects the natural grain pattern, and preserves the hide's structural integrity before it enters the high-end tanning and finishing stages. Finally, before being sent to the tannery, the hides are manually graded based on criteria such as size, thickness, belly scale uniformity, and the presence of flaws. Next, the high-quality crocodile hides enter the intensive tanning process, a series of carefully controlled steps that can take anywhere from between 5 and 21 days, requiring advanced techniques and strict oversight. The hides are first soaked in chemical or bioenzyme solutions to relax the collagen fiber structure. Then comes the actual tanning stage, where agents like chrome or natural tannins are infused into the leather to prevent biological decay, enhance durability, and improve water resistance. After the tanning process is complete, the crocodile hides move on to the shaving stage. With the aid of precision shaving machines, workers meticulously adjust each hide to a uniform thickness, typically between 0.8 and 1.2 millimeters, ensuring consistency across the entire surface. Next, the most experienced workers, with sharp eyes and steady hands, manually inspect and sort the hides. Only those that meet the highest standards, with clearly defined belly scales, a soft texture, and no visible defects, are selected to proceed to the final stages of dyeing and surface finishing. Depending on the specific demands of fashion brands, the crocodile leather may be dyed in a uniform color or treated with special effects such as ombre gradients, metallic finishes, marbled tones, or vintage-style patinas. This dyeing process is typically done either by hand or through semi-automated techniques, ensuring that each hide retains its natural grain texture while achieving flawless, vibrant coloration. After a long journey of patience and precision, the crocodile hide finally reaches the final stage, polishing and surface finishing, where its natural beauty is awakened and elevated into a pinnacle of luxury craftsmanship. The leather is passed through specialized equipment for pressing, buffing, waxing, or protective coating, depending on its intended use. Some workshops still apply traditional techniques, such as hand oiling or polishing with smooth stones, to achieve a finish that's both gently glossy and naturally supple. At last, each hide undergoes a final inspection, is sorted, and carefully packaged before being shipped to world-renowned fashion houses like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or Prada, where it will be transformed into iconic fashion masterpieces, each worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. A fully grown buffalo may weigh only around 500 kilograms, but its ability to adapt far surpasses that of many other large livestock species. Buffaloes are especially drawn to water and mud, not just to cool off, but to protect their skin from harsh sunlight and biting insects. And interestingly, they even have their own personal assistant, the oxpecker, a small bird that perches on their back to remove parasites and alert them to danger. If India is the buffalo capital of the world with hundreds of millions roaming its fields each day, then Italy is where buffalo milk is turned into culinary gold. From street-side stalls in Mumbai to elegant appetizers in Naples, tens of thousands of tons of mozzarella di bufala are consumed each year, a soft, creamy cheese that's richer and more nutritious than its cow milk counterpart, packed with fat and protein, yet lower in cholesterol. Many still believe that beef is the true king of the table. But buffalo meat is quickly rising to fame for its higher iron content, lower fat levels, and compatibility with modern, health-conscious diets. From muddy fields to five-star restaurants, from plowing soil to topping gourmet dishes, the buffalo has quietly crossed every layer of society. And strangely enough, it's never needed to say a word to prove its worth. Female buffaloes typically give birth once a year, with a gestation period lasting around 10 to 11 months. They usually calve in the spring or early summer, when food is abundant and the weather is favorable, conditions that help ensure the health of both the mother and the newborn calf. After about 6 months, buffalo calves are separated from their mothers and moved to individual pens. This allows farmers to collect the full milk yield from the mother for the production of mozzarella cheese or other dairy products. Female calves are raised on a controlled feeding regimen to grow quickly, stay healthy, and may be kept as future breeders. Meanwhile, male calves are typically raised separately for meat production. Buffaloes can eat a variety of feeds, but the most common are silage corn and straw. After each wheat harvest, massive piles of leftover straw are gathered by specialized baling machines and compressed into large, tightly packed rolls weighing hundreds of kilograms. The straw bales are then loaded onto trucks and transported back to the farm by tractor, where they are tightly wrapped in long plastic tubes for preservation. Hundreds of bales are lined up in front of the barns, ready to serve as a crucial feed reserve for the buffaloes during winter or extended dry seasons. At feeding time, the straw is loaded into a high-capacity feed mixer combined with bran, grains, minerals, and other supplements. The result is a perfectly blended mix, easier to digest, rich in nutrients, and designed to fuel growth, strength, and the rich milk used to make premium mozzarella. An adult buffalo consumes around 8 to 15 kilograms of feed per day and spends up to 6 to 8 hours just ruminating. So if you ever see a buffalo constantly chewing with that slow, thoughtful look, don't be surprised. It's just enjoying a second round of the same meal, straight from its own stomach. And after hours of chewing and re-chewing their meals, what do you think buffaloes do next? That's right, they go for a bath. Bathing is usually scheduled around 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. when the sun is less intense. The moment the barn doors open, the herd rushes toward the pond almost instinctively. They plunge, splash, and soak, not just to cool off, but to relax their muscles after long hours of pulling or ruminating. A buffalo's body temperature ranges from 38 to 39 degrees Celsius, higher than most livestock. That helps with metabolism, but also makes them highly sensitive to heat and prone to heat stress. For buffaloes, daily bathing isn't about staying clean, it's about staying healthy. Once they've eaten their fill and cooled down, buffaloes also get a massage. Automatic rotating brushes are installed right inside the barn, gently spinning when the buffalo rubs against them. They help clean the coat, reduce stress, and stimulate blood circulation. Every stage of care, from feeding to bathing, leads to one goal: milk collection. A female buffalo typically begins producing milk 8 to 10 months after giving birth. Before milking, the udder is thoroughly cleaned with warm water and sterilized cloths to remove dirt and bacteria. Next, an automatic milking machine is attached, simulating the natural rhythm of a calf's suckling. The suction is carefully calibrated to extract milk efficiently while protecting the udder, preventing inflammation or injury, a common cause of reduced milk yield. On average, a buffalo can produce 4 to 6 liters per session. Modern farms can milk dozens of animals at once, smoothly, cleanly, and without bottlenecks. The milk then flows through a sealed stainless steel pipe system and into a cooling tank at 4 degrees Celsius, marking the beginning of its journey into smooth, creamy slices of mozzarella. When milk enters the cheese factory, it doesn't go straight into production. First, it must undergo strict testing for freshness, cleanliness, and harmful bacteria. Then, key nutritional indicators such as fat content, protein levels, and lactose are carefully analyzed. Only milk that truly meets the standards is kept, because even a 0.1% deviation in fat can ruin an entire batch of cheese worth tens of thousands of dollars. To ensure absolute safety before beginning its journey into cheese, the milk must undergo pasteurization. In this step, it is rapidly heated to 72 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 20 seconds, just enough to destroy harmful bacteria without losing its valuable nutrients. Immediately afterward, the milk is quickly cooled to lock in its fresh flavor and prevent any further microbial growth. After pasteurization, buffalo milk is transferred into large stainless steel vats, where it enters a crucial stage: coagulation. This is when the liquid milk begins to transform into a semi-solid form, separating into 2 main parts: curd, the solid portion that will become cheese, and whey, the liquid that will be removed later. To trigger this process, rennet is added, a traditional enzyme extracted from a young calf's stomach, or produced using modern microbial fermentation. Rennet causes the milk proteins, primarily casein, to bond together, forming a gel-like network that traps fat and essential nutrients. Once the rennet is added, an automatic stirring system gently agitates the mixture for 30 to 40 minutes to ensure even distribution of the enzyme. The stirring must be precisely controlled. Too vigorous and the curd may break prematurely. Too weak and the milk could settle unevenly, leading to inconsistent cheese quality. After stirring, the mixture is left to rest for about 30 minutes, allowing the curd to naturally set. Once the curd has formed, slow-moving wire blades begin to cut it into small, uniform pieces about the size of corn kernels. Cutting increases the surface area, allowing whey to separate more easily. Immediately after cutting, whey starts to rise to the surface. The mixture is then gently heated to around 38 to 42 Celsius, helping the curds contract and release more whey. This step plays a key role in shaping the final texture, moisture level, and even the flavor of the cheese. As the whey separation process finishes, the massive stainless steel vats begin to tilt slowly. From with soft, elastic masses of curd slide down the chute, like slabs of condensed milk being released from a giant metallic mold. This is the curd, the concentrated essence of hundreds of liters of fresh buffalo milk. These ivory white curds are still warm, delicate, and fragile. Before they can be transformed into cheese strands, they must be evenly cut. In the prep area, workers use knives or semi-automatic cutters to divide the curds into smaller, uniform blocks, precisely measured. This step isn't just for convenience, it allows heat and salt to penetrate evenly, ensuring the final cheese develops the signature stretch, gloss, and elasticity that define true mozzarella. And this is one of the most anticipated moments in the entire cheesemaking process. After being finely shredded, the curd is transferred into a specialized stretching and mixing machine. Here, hot water, around 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, is gradually added as the machine continuously stirs, softening the curd and bringing it to that signature stretchy consistency. Under the combined effect of heat and water, the proteins in the curd begin to straighten and rebond, forming the chewy, elastic, and smooth texture that defines true mozzarella. The portions are then rolled into perfect spheres using a precise spinning motion, resulting in evenly shaped, glossy mozzarella balls. Finally, the mozzarella drops into a cold water tank, rapidly cooling each piece. This step stabilizes the texture and prevents the balls from sticking during storage. The entire process, from shredding the curd to forming smooth mozzarella balls, takes less than 10 minutes, but every step must be tightly controlled to ensure proper texture, flavor, and freshness. In some artisanal dairies in Italy, mozzarella isn't just shaped into balls, it's braided into traditional forms known as treccia mozzarella. Braiding the cheese enhances its elasticity and structural integrity, while helping it retain moisture and providing a more satisfying texture when sliced. This technique isn't just practical, it's a cultural signature, especially popular in southern regions like Campania and Puglia, where mozzarella is considered a true culinary heritage. After being shaped and chilled, each mozzarella ball is transferred to the packaging line via an automated conveyor system. Robotic arms precisely place the cheese into specialized plastic containers, followed by an injection of sterilized brine to keep the mozzarella moist, soft, and fresh for longer. The brine also prevents the pieces from sticking together and helps preserve their elastic texture. The containers are then sealed, labeled, and packed into large cartons before being moved to cold storage at 4 degrees Celsius. From there, they're ready to be shipped to supermarkets, restaurants, and food chains around the world. According to estimates, over 5 million mozzarella balls are consumed globally every single day, from pizzas in New York to caprese salads in Rome. A staggering number for a cheese that lives in water and never dries out. Buffaloes don't just give us rich, milky mozzarella, they're also a source of lean, flavorful red meat packed with protein. Now let's follow their next journey as they enter the advanced processing lines of modern meat factories. After a long journey from the farm to the factory, buffaloes are first brought into a resting area to stabilize their condition. This short break helps reduce transportation stress and ensures the meat retains optimal quality. Next, trained staff conduct a health check on each animal, measuring body temperature, monitoring heart rate, and recording physiological data. Only buffaloes that meet strict health standards proceed to the specialized processing line. Some large-scale facilities can handle up to 1,000 buffaloes per day, using automated systems designed to ensure hygiene, safety, and animal welfare. India alone supplies 20% of all buffalo meat traded globally, making it the world's largest exporter. That means 1 in every 5 buffalo steaks on the global market likely started its journey in the Indian subcontinent. The processed carcasses are then moved onto conveyor belts, where precision cutting systems divide the dense, lean buffalo meat into standard sections. Unnecessary parts like hide, fat, or internal organs are removed during this stage. Clean meat is then trimmed into specific sizes, large cuts for restaurants or thin slices for retail. The cuts are quickly sent to freezing chambers maintained at 18 degrees Celsius for 72 hours, preserving freshness and extending shelf life. Once they meet temperature and time requirements, the portions are vacuum sealed, labeled, and packed into insulated boxes. From there, these fresh red cuts are ready to be shipped to supermarkets, commercial kitchens, and dining tables around the world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive into the next chapter of our journey, where more fascinating surprises await just ahead. As they enter the laying phase, each hen quietly leaves behind her daily gift in specially designed nesting areas. thanks to an automatic egg collection system. As soon as the egg drops onto the soft tray below, it is gently transferred onto a conveyor belt. This belt runs the entire length of the housing rows, carrying the eggs straight to the central collection area. No human hands needed. On average, a hen lays at a super speed rate of about 1 egg every 26 hours. That's why, at large-scale industrial farms, automated systems can effortlessly collect between 200,000 to 500,000 eggs per day. Still having trouble picturing that? Well, imagine trying to eat them all. It would take you over 1,300 years to finish, assuming you lived as long as a mythical turtle. From there, the eggs are temporarily stored under ideal temperature and humidity conditions before making their way into the processing facilities. After being collected from the farm, the eggs are transported to the processing facility in specially designed trays to minimize impact and preserve freshness. The first step is input inspection. At this stage, the eggs pass through a candling system using LED lights or image sensing technology to detect defects such as cracks, foreign materials, thin shells, or fertilized embryos. Any eggs that do not meet quality standards are automatically removed from the processing line. Next, you would be breaking the law in the United States if the eggs didn't go through the washing section. A warm water spray, combined with a mild sanitizing solution, helps remove dirt, feathers, and any bacteria that may be clinging to the eggshells. However, in Europe, eggs are not washed. This is because the natural protective layer on the eggshell, called the cuticle, is preserved to prevent bacteria, such as salmonella, from entering the egg. Washing is believed to remove this barrier. So instead, European regulations focus on keeping the entire production process clean, rather than cleaning the eggs afterward. Whether the eggs are washed or not, they are then sorted by weight and size. An automated weighing system determines the weight of each egg and assigns it to a standard category, S, M, L, or XL. This process ensures consistency across every carton of eggs sold on the market. Next comes the packaging stage. The eggs are placed into molded paper or plastic trays that help keep them secure and prevent breakage during transport. These trays are then automatically loaded by robotic arms into larger cartons or plastic boxes, which are printed with the packing date, expiration date, QR codes for traceability, and brand logos. Finally, all products are moved to a central cold storage facility where they are kept at an ideal temperature of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius before being turned into the millions of golden rolled omelets we're about to discover next. The process begins by feeding the eggs into an automatic shell-breaking machine, capable of handling 5,000 to 10,000 eggs per hour. Mechanical arms gently crack the shells and separate the egg whites, yolks, or keep them whole, depending on the product requirements. The The separated eggs then automatically drop into stainless steel collection funnels, where a filtration system removes any shell fragments or impurities. Next, the liquid eggs are transferred to a mixing machine, where they are evenly blended with pre-measured seasonings to create a smooth, rich, and consistent mixture. The egg mixture is then pumped onto an automated frying conveyor with a wide heated surface, maintained at a stable temperature of around 160 to 180 degrees Celsius. Here, a thin layer of nonstick oil is sprayed onto the surface, followed by a smooth, even spread of the egg mixture. As the egg layer begins to set, the automatic flipping and rolling mechanism gently folds it into soft, uniform rolls. Once the rolled omelettes reach perfect doneness, the conveyor transfers them to a rapid cooling zone equipped with industrial fans. This quick cooling process helps retain the natural softness and glossy texture of the egg. Next, the product moves to the vacuum packing machine, which seals the omelettes airtight, allowing them to stay fresh longer without the need for preservatives. Finally, each package is printed with the production date, expiration date, and a QR code for full traceability before being packed into boxes and delivered to cold storage, ready for distribution.